Welcome to episode 6 of the On a Family Based podcast. My name is Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Dallas.
And we are four cousins taking a trip around the bases. And as you can tell, one of our cousins is again not here. And that's, kind of how it goes. Ben is not here. If he is going to join, he'll join later on. So we'll take a trip around the bases to talk about what's going on in baseball as of right now. But as we go start every podcast episode, we will just talk about what we're watching. So, sports or not sports, what are you watching this past week?
I've been watching Reacher on Amazon Prime. It's a murder mystery type show. Check it out. It's fun. Dan said he's going to watch it, so you guys should too.
Dallas, I heard the main character, that's the look you're going for.
I would love to one day. I would need to wear some platform shoes because that dude is 6'5". Is gigantic. Yeah. And he's still it's the size of a refrigerator. The guy's huge.
And Dan, what have you been watching, if anything?
Not a lot. Yeah, not a lot. We just got home from vacation. Took the kids on to Disney, so it was good. Been back for a couple days now. I was able to catch some of both All-Star games this weekend. Watched a little bit of the skills competition Friday night. Watched a little bit of the NHL All-Star game on Saturday. I was at drill for most of it, so I kind of had it on as background noise while we were doing online classing and stuff. And the same for Sunday. Put on the Pro Bowl. Watched a little bit of the Pro Bowl. I did catch a little bit of the NFL skills competition, which was kind of cool to see the different things. I really enjoyed the NHL's All-Star game or the skills competition. I thought the fact that they went out into the Bellagio fountain was awesome. And these guys they're just sick. The stuff they can do. NHL with the puck and stuff, like the stick handling is just unreal. Even the NFL, man, watching some of the NFL stuff was really cool. Watching the dodgeball game, that was actually a lot of fun to watch them. They played dodgeball.
That would be fun to watch, yeah. That's fun.
It was fun. It was a lot. It was actually really enjoyable to watch.
A question for Dan.
Yeah.
How far do you think you can throw a football right now?
Quarter mile.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
I don't believe you. Quarter mile.
Pretty sure I can throw a football about 20 feet.
Coach had put me in, but all state.
We don't want state if you put me in. Implying
I don't know.
He was never
honestly right now, probably a football. I could probably toss it a good.
Say something stupid. Say something.
I was going to say like
I'm challenge.
40, 50 yards. You think that's stupid?
Oh, 50. You think you throw the football 50 yards?
In the air?
On the fly. Yes, Dan. It has to hit the ground at 50 yards. You think you can do it?
If I put my feet like flat-footed on the goal line and just throw it?
I'll let you run. I will let you run from the end of the end zone to the beginning of the end zone.
10
you
yards.
can have that. Like, what is that?
Yards.
That's 10 yards. So I'll let you have 10 yards of a running start to throw that ball 50 yards.
I don't. That would be ridiculous. Run 30 feet just to throw a ball.
So it's like the javelin.
A running start. I definitely think hitting more than 40.
Okay. All right. Good. Next time, write it down. Next time I see Daniel, we're going to a football field, wherever it may be. I'm put $10 down on it. I'll Venmo it right to you. That's all I got.
Well, if you're next to me when we do it, why would you mail it to me?
I'm gonna Venmo it to you. Do you know what Venmo is?
Oh, I thought you said mail.
No. Oh, Dan. It's okay. No. If you don't know what Venmo is, I'll get with you offline.
I know what Venmo is. I have Venmo along with other such apps.
Wow. That was the oldest thing ever.
Yeah, well, I am the oldest one here, and I don't do a lot of your cool techno stuff.
I use PayPal. I know what these things are.
Nah, I use what does Chase have? What does Chase use?
Zelle.
Zelle. Yeah, I use Zelle.
Yeah.
Because I have Chase,
Yeah.
so I do that.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay, now that we established that, and I can still check a
Yeah.
Pigskin quarter mile.
So I will say what I've been watching.
Yeah, you got
I have
a
also
little topic.
Yeah, no, it's all right. We just have a challenge for you next time, so no big deal. I have also been watching Reacher, but I've only seen 2 episodes. I mean, I have a kid and I'm homeschooling, so of course it's gonna take me time. I've also been watching. I was watching Daredevil in the past couple weeks, but now I've kind of moved on to the first season of Punisher on Netflix, which I like a lot too. So I'm just working through the Marvel on Netflix shows just for fun. So
That's cool.
I did not watch the Pro Bowl. I did not watch the NHL All-Star game or anything like that. In all honesty, I'm just ready for baseball, and that's like coming soon. So
Right.
I'm just kind of in the darkness right now, just waiting. So that, and we can kind of transition out of that to talking about the CBA, the latest on that, the CBA update. Now, what's been going on with that the last couple days, last week or so, has been that the MLB proposed a federal mediator to come in and sit down with them and the MLBPA and try to negotiate, try to figure something out. Now, I think it was last Friday, the Players Association declined that offer. We can get into, why if you want, but they declined the offer. So as of right now, there's no movement. There's no set set meeting. There's no deadline. There's no counter proposal. It's pretty much just nothing. So thank you, owners, for having no baseball. Pretty much.
Well,
it's their fault.
I did see that the MLBPA declined the MLB's suggestion of bringing in a mediator. Said they just want to get it done and handled, and they feel like they can do that without a mediator. Today came out that the labor secretary contacted the MLB in regards to his willingness to get involved in the contract negotiations. Now, I don't know if that was ever, if any progress was made on him getting involved. His name is Marty Walsh.
Yeah.
It does say that he's a U.S. Secretary of Labor, and he's made an attempt to, looks like, come in between MLB and MLBPA. So we'll see if that catches any ground or if they go forward with that. But it seems like there's a lot of different parties involved here that would like to get this a new CBA signed and agreed on. And I definitely think we're out of the window of having the season start on time.
Yeah.
But I think we still have a window where we could get a pretty good season in as far as length goes, where it would still end right around the end of September, right? Where it would normally, usually ends end of September, first week of October, leads right into the postseason. I think there's still a good chance we could get one signed and have a season with a full spring training to allow for a good, lengthy MLB season. So we'll see if that catches any ground.
Yeah, I did see that piece of news this morning. The U.S. Labor Secretary offering his services. Neither the MLB, neither them or the PA have said if they'd be open to that. But I did hear from the Players Association, Tony Clark, and I did hear from players that the main issue they had with the federal mediator, and I guess the possible issue they would have the labor secretary coming in is that it would take a week or two at the very minimum to get them fully caught up on what is really the position on both sides. So if you want to wait a week or two and then possibly get to getting down to these negotiations, if you want to even call it that, pretty much neither side is budging. So their main pushback on the mediator and possibly secretary is just it would take so much more time. And honestly, the owners didn't even come back with a counter proposal to the last proposal from the PA. So it just seems like, as you said, Dan, they're definitely not starting on time. But I mean, in all honesty, I mean, I could see this going to like April or May.
Wow.
I mean, you know, I've heard some people, and granted, maybe they're cynical, but I mean, they're even saying like maybe we get like a 60-game season again because they can't figure anything out and they have to play 60 games, and that kind of helps the owners out even more so because they already figured out how to do that in 2020. So, I mean, maybe we get half a season. So, I'm not sure where I fall on that, but it just does not look good. That's pretty much the update, is that both sides are pretty. Yeah, there is no update / they have their position and we're still gonna have to talk about it in brevity because there's no details coming out. So that's kind of where we're at.
I feel like we'll still get I feel like there is more outside influence, and it might put pressure on either side to, I don't know, hopefully get to the table faster.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think the outside pressure in some ways, I just don't think the owners, I mean, I know, like me saying this, but like, I mean, these guys are rich. Their franchises are going to be worth the same amount, no matter how much they play this year. I don't feel like they have pressure. I don't feel like they have any urgency, and that's kind of where I land on that.
See, I think like I agree with you right now because the season's not started. I think once the season starts and they start to lose money, or I'm sorry, I feel like as we get closer to when the season should start and these guys should start seeing revenue, they're gonna feel a lot more heat if it even gets to that point. Because these guys they're businessmen, and this is a big business. And when something affects your business, you fix it.
I mean, unless there's an incentive not to. And I don't see that there's incentive to get it fixed as of right now.
Right. But like I said, that's also because the
future.
season's not technically, quote unquote, have started yet. Even spring training hasn't really started yet.
Yeah, I mean,
when are pitchers and catchers supposed to report?
They are supposed to report in, I think, like next week.
Huh.
So, I mean, that's definitely not happening.
Yeah. It's getting down to crunch time.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot more pressure being on players because they have a lot more literally financial, like their livelihoods are at stake. So it's kind of where I'm at on that. So again, as we said, sadly, there's no movement and I wish we could have a whole episode just talking about the deal and breaking down the the details and saying what we
maybe
think
next
about
week.
them. But yeah, maybe next week. But I mean, as of right now, we don't know. So, all right, and pretty much pretty much the CBA and the lack of a deal is the only piece of news that really matters. So we'll move on to our first base topic, and that is what we'll do is we will do a free agent prediction. Now, I picked 10 players that are still free agents. And granted, these are free agents that possibly they definitely have to sign after the CBA gets agreed. So let's just say, for funsies, this gets signed tomorrow.
Funsies.
And yeah. So I have 10 players down here, and we're just going to go down the list and say where we think they're going and just kind of have a fun discussion about that. So the first one is we will talk about Kris Bryant. Do any of you have an idea or prediction of where Kris Bryant will sign and play next season or whenever we start up again?
Yeah, he's going to sign with the Giants.
Why the Giants?
It's where he just played. I think he actually enjoyed. It looked like he enjoyed himself there. He helped the Giants make a run towards the end, and they could definitely use his help. I think he re-signs with the Giants.
Okay. Dell, do you have a prediction? And we talked about this in past episodes, but do you have a prediction, or do you want me to go right now?
Go with the Phillies, man. Be back with his boy Bryce.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
I think that's a good. That could be a very feasible landing spot for him. I don't know where he would play.
Third base, man.
No, they have Alex Bohm at third.
Yeah. Don't you think Kris Bryant can outperform him at third?
It's not a matter of outperforming him. It's a matter of, they think Alex Bohm is their future at third. The kid's only like 22, 23. He just had a huge, a very productive, I don't know if this was technically his rookie season or his sophomore season. I don't know how much he played in 2020. But he's coming off a very good, productive year, and I also really like Alec Bohm. I think he's going to be very, very good, and he's going to help Philly for a while. But I mean, you could still put him in the outfield. Honestly, I think Kris Bryant's going to play the outfield. I think his primary position is going to be a center or left fielder. He's going to get some time in at third with whatever team he plays, but I think he's going to be primarily an outfielder at this point going forward, especially with the Giants too, because they still have Longoria at third. They're very close in age. Longoria is older, but I do think Kris Bryant's going to get a lot more time in the outfield this coming season for whoever he signs with.
Yeah. Now, in my prediction actually goes with Dallas, and that's for this reason. He can play. He's a great utility guy. And granted, that's going to hurt his WAR because he can't rack up numbers in one position. But I do believe that he can play, as you said, Dan, he can play left field. And if we do have universal DH, he can give Bryce a day off in right field. He can give Hoskins a day off at first. He can give your guy Bowman at third a day off. He can play around the field. So if the Phillies really want to make a push in that division, which it always seems like they're on the verge of doing so, this I feel like would be a really good fit for him and I feel like it'd be a good fit for the team. So, is that where I think he will? Is that where I think he will sign? No, but I think that's where he fits best, in my opinion.
I agree with that statement. I think he fits best probably in. I don't know. He fits with the Phillies and what they have going forward. I completely agree. I still think he re-signs with the Giants. While yes, his ability to play all positions is going to make him very versatile, and if they ultimately agree on a universal DH, I think it opens the book for so many different more teams than we're even giving credit to. You know, but I'm sticking with the Giants, man. I think he goes back to San Francisco.
Okay. I mean, it would. He played well. I mean, maybe not the power numbers he would have wanted in San Fran, but I do think he would be a good fit. And he is entering his age 30 season, but will the Giants want to pay him and sign him for 6-7 years? Because that's what he's gonna
No,
ask
but I
for.
think I think he'll ask for a longer year term, but I think he's going to ultimately take like a 3 to 4 year wherever he does sign. I think that's probably a more realistic length of a term contract for Bryant.
Well, yeah, I would agree. I think that's a realistic term, but with the obvious service time manipulation that the Cubs did with Kris Bryant, this is really Bryant's one chance to make bank. And I feel like he's gonna go to the place that's gonna give him the longest contract, the most money. I just don't see the Giants coming close to the length. And I feel like in Kris Bryant's one prime time to make money, he's gonna go somewhere that's gonna shell out some dough. I think the Phillies should. So if the Giants come with a 4 or 5 year deal, and the Phillies offer him 6, 7 or something, and they probably about the same like average income like per year, I think he should go with the biggest money. You know, he got used by the Cubs to play another year there. So go make your money and go. I think the Phillies should splurge on him.
Yeah, and I think with Kris Bryant and the Cubs, I think that whole issue they had when they first brought him up and they held him out till after April, whatever, 10th or 20th, whatever it is, the date where before they have to eat that contract. I think that put a taste in his mouth he didn't like. Granted, yes, winning the World Series helped and both sides, but I still think that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. I don't think he comes back to the Cubs.
Yeah,
not necessarily for that reason, but I don't think that was
yeah, I think that'll have a lot to do with him never coming back to Chicago, though.
While he might have enjoyed his time, and he obviously won a World Series here, he'll be treated like a king whenever he's back in town. I just
rightfully so.
I mean, I agree, man. Hey, he got you guys a ring. It's been 114 years, whatever it was, 118 years. I don't know. Honestly,
all right. Calm down.
Saying it was like 3 digits.
It was 108. Calm down.
Whatever. 3 digits.
All right, so let's transition from a Cubs favorite in Kris Bryant to a player that will be coming over from Japan, Seiya Suzuki. And granted, again, we talked about him, but Dallas. We talked about him going to the Mariners, possibly the Red Sox, the Giants. Maybe a sleeper team out there. Do you have an idea? Maybe where Seiya Suzuki will sign or should sign?
I have no idea where that man's going to go, if anywhere. I mean, I don't know. Just go with Seattle, a West Coast team. That's all I got.
Yeah,
I got nothing on that.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he does have less than a month to sign, but depending on how long the CBA goes, he may have less time than a month to sign and get somewhere. So we'll see. Maybe because of all this lockout stuff, he'll stay in Japan. But Dan, if he does come to the MLB next year, where do you think he'll go? Seattle, like that?
Yeah. I said that when we did the segment on him
Yeah.
a couple weeks back. I'm pretty sure I was pretty adamant that he was going to go to Seattle. They seem to be the front runner. From everything I've read, they've made the biggest push with the contact with him and everything in talks with him prior to the CBA lockout. And I still think it's Seattle. I still think Seattle's the front runner to sign him.
I think we're going to have a clean sweep. I'm picking the Mariners. As you guys said, West Coast team. The Mariners have history signing Japanese players and them having success in Seattle. He is looking for 4 or 5 years. Like Ichiro.
Like who?
Like that guy. So, and that's just to name one. But yeah, so I think he'll stay in the West Coast. So I'm going to go with Seattle as well. I think that's the natural fit. I mean, the outside chance is Boston. And that's also because he can play right field. And I think he can play, as they've talked about his good defense as well. But he'll also play right next to Jackie Bradley Jr. So he'll have a good outfield mate as well out there. Now, I don't think he'll go there at the end, so I think he'll go to the Mariners.
See, I think Boston, I think, is a weird spot for him to go. Boston's got enough outfield depth, and while they might like to sign him, I don't know, because he can play other positions, that he would necessarily play right. They have Jackie Bradley. They still have Alex Verdugo. So, I mean, he can play other positions. He also plays short, third, I think, and left or right. So he plays pretty much the whole outfield. Plus, I think he's capable of playing short and third. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. I just don't see Boston as being the spot for him to go.
Yeah, and I agree. That's why I'm saying outside chance. So I think Seattle is the best fit. The Giants also may be a good fit, but I think the outside chance is Boston. But yeah, again, we're going to go clean sweep and go with the Mariners. All right, so our next guy is going to be Clayton Kershaw. What do you guys think Clayton Kershaw is going to sign this upcoming year?
LA. He goes back to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I said
he's
90% LA.
He's going to try to retire a Dodger. I know he's from Texas, but I think it's LA.
It should be LA, honestly. Like I wanted Albert to stay with the Cardinals, I actually would like to see Kershaw stay with the Dodgers, as much as I hate the Dodgers.
Yeah, and everyone talks about the Dodgers and how much of a juggernaut they've been. But if you look at the roster, they really only have Julio Urias, if I'm even saying that right, and Walker Buehler. They only have those two returning starters who played on the World Series team. So, Matt Scherzer left as well.
As far as starters go?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, I agree with that. There's probably only those two that are in the rotation, but I mean they have like the team, the whole position players are all like returning starters from that World Series team.
I mean, Corey Seager left.
Yeah, Corey Seager left, but I mean you still have
you have Trey Turner, but all I'm saying is that Muncy is coming off an injury, and you don't know how he's gonna bounce back, if it's going to be quick or not. I know they have other positions and they're hoping that everyone comes back, but they're pitching. I think Kershaw can just be a great guy to have there. I don't think it'd be a long one, but I think the Dodgers, again, clean sweep for the Dodgers. But it will be interesting. And Dan, you did reference that he's from Texas. But
Yeah.
now that Court Seeker went out to the Rangers, I do find it a little interesting that there is a chance, and the Dodgers didn't offer Kershaw a qualifying offer. So then I know there's some financial component to it, but that could be kind of, and ownership usually doesn't act like this, but it could be like a nice like giveaway. Like, hey, transition out of the Dodgers. We won't keep you by force. But I think he'll just resign. Again, we're gonna have a short free agent window. And I think he'll just return to the easiest place, which
I mean, if he
would
does
be
go,
LA.
if he does go to the Rangers, though, that having him and Thor as your 1 and 2,
Thor.
yeah. Noah Syndergaard signed with Texas also.
No, he signed with the Angels.
Pretty sure he's a Ranger. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I want you to look that up.
I could be wrong. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I'm wrong. I genuinely thought Thor went to Texas. Maybe I'm wrong. Or he's from Texas. Maybe he's just from Texas, and I just associated that with being that he went there for some reason. I know he's from Texas. I don't know what part, but I know he's from the state of Texas.
Yeah, Syndergaard signed a 1-year deal with the Angels for $21 million.
Okay, so yeah, okay, I'm totally wrong then. I don't know why I associated him as going to Texas.
But the Rangers did sign. I know it's not a flashy signing, but they did sign Sean Gray from the Rockies, and he'll be a guy that will be in your rotation. So they do have some other guys in their rotation, so it could be a good chance for a veteran pitcher. But I just, again, as we've all said, I think it's just the easiest fit for him to go back for at least 1 or 2 years. You know,
just Padres should make a run for him.
Yeah, they'd be fun.
Make a run.
Padres have like 18 starters.
True.
But they might don't have one Clayton Kershaw.
That's fact.
Let's go to an outfielder who actually played in the AL Central and then also played for the Cubs, Nick Castellanos. He recently is coming off playing with the Cincinnati Reds in arguably his best couple of years. So he is a free agent, and he is definitely not returning to the Reds.
No.
So I will pitch my team first for
Don't
Castellanos.
you take my team.
I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna say he's going to the Marlins.
Nope, not my team. You're totally wrong.
All right, well,
completely wrong.
We'll see. We'll see at the end. So he is from Florida. The Marlins are making some signings. They do have some momentum, and I do think that they have a spot for him in right field. So I think it's just an easy fit, and going home is always nice if you're getting that bag. So I'm gonna go with the Marlins. Who you guys got? Dan, who is he actually going to in your mind?
He's probably actually going to the Marlins. That was honestly going to be my guess. Not being a homer for the White Sox, I really, really hope that if there's any position player free agent the Sox make a hard run at, I really want it to be Nick Castellanos. They have a huge hole in right field. We traded Adam Eaton. I really, really want Nick Castellanos. I think he's a great fit for the team. He's already played in the AL Central, and I think it would behoove the White Sox to probably go after him.
You're so hooah.
But again, that's just me being a fan.
So who is he? So what? Who's your pick? The White Sox, the Marlins?
I think he signs with Florida, but I'm genuinely hoping he comes to Chicago. But I think he signs with Florida.
All right, I'll put you down for Florida. Des, what you think? You going with the sweep again?
No, I want him to play for the White Sox.
Okay.
Yeah. I read a little bit about it, and yeah, it'd be cool to get him out there with Abreu, and it'd be fun to see the White Sox make it interesting.
Castellanos is kind of a heel. Like, he does play the bad guy very well, and I think
it makes sense to go to the White Sox.
It would play well with the White Sox.
It's cute.
All I'm saying.
Albert Bell playing Moe's.
All right. Again,
that was in Cleveland. Okay.
Never forget.
Never forget what?
He played for you guys. Don't forget that.
Yeah, he played for the White Sox, but it was all of his corked bat and running over Fernando Vina was when he played in Cleveland.
I still remember him flipping off the fans and stuff. All right.
Well, Dallas did send me a clip of him getting hit when he played for the Orioles, and he refused to go down to first base.
That's so awesome.
Bro. It's like, bro, this is not how baseball works. You have to go down. But
no, that's such an awesome. No, ball didn't hit me. Hit my bat.
Yeah, he actually tried saying that. I know. I've seen that. That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah,
love it.
I don't know.
But there's still nothing better than the Albert Bell completely running over Fernando Vina in between second and first when he went to make a tag to turn a double play. Absolutely obliterated him. I think Fernando Vina lost a couple of years on his life because of that hit.
It's like, Albert, you're in the wrong sport.
Hey man, you're entitled. I have done the exact same thing in a baseball game, and you are entitled to the baseline just as much as that player, the fielder, is.
All right.
Just saying, man.
We're also not endorsing running over.
I'm not endorsing. I'm saying
no. Dan is 100% endorsing it.
No, I'm a fan of it.
Wow,
big difference.
But
I'm not saying do it, but I'm saying if you do it, I'm going to hit the like button.
I'm going to respect you.
So
I'm hitting that like.
Let's move on to a player who would never run over someone else, and that is another Cubs veteran, Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo, getting traded from the Cubs to the Yankees, the trade deadline. So, what do you guys think? Where do you think Rizzo is going to land this upcoming season?
I don't know. There's a lot to come out lately saying that the Yankees want to make a run at Freddie Freeman. And obviously you could use both. Sure, who wouldn't want Anthony Rizzo and Freddie Freeman in the same lineup as Stanton and Aaron Judge, along with Gary Sanchez and the guy at shortstop. I can't remember his name right now.
Well, they actually don't have it.
They need a short.
Torres is playing second.
Yeah, they need a shortstop.
Right. Yeah.
I know, but he plays a lot. He plays the middle infield. He plays. I feel like every time I watch a Yankee game or catch part of a Yankee game, Gleyber Torres is at shortstop.
I think they tried to move him away this past year, so I don't think. But it's not the point. So, where do you think Rizzo is going to go, though? Do you think he'll end up as a Yankee?
No, I don't. I don't know where he goes, but I don't think he goes back to New York. I don't honestly at this point have a projection of where he ends up. I just don't think he goes back to the Yankees.
Okay. Well, I'll give you my prediction because it kind of comes off a couple different moves. I think Rizzo is one of those players that will benefit from other people getting signed or traded. So I don't think he'll be first off the board by any means. I have Anthony Rizzo going to the Braves.
So especially if they don't bring Freddie back.
I don't. So this is for me. It's the dominoes fell when I had Freeman going somewhere else. I think Rizzo would be a great fit for the Braves. He's a good defender. He's another lefty bat. He's a great guy in the clubhouse. I think if you want to replace someone like a Freddie Freeman, a bargain. Freddie Freeman, MVP, is a very good, at times great player, Anthony Rizzo. So I have him going to the Braves and Freeman going somewhere else. Dallas, where do you think Rizzo's going to go? You think he's coming back to the Cubs?
No, I doubt it. But I think he's just going to stay in New York.
Yeah.
You know, was it Voit, their first baseman, right?
Yeah,
on the
Luke Voit.
Yankees.
Yeah,
Didn't they almost traded him, didn't they? At the end of the deadline.
No, they didn't want almost trade him. They said they were gonna play him more, but didn't play him more. So he's
a little disgruntled.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think they'll keep, or I don't know. I think Rizzo wants to stay in New York, and if the Yankees will re-sign him, I think he'll stay there.
Really? You think that Boston-grown kid wants to stay in New York?
Yeah, I do, man. He looks good in those pinstripes.
Yeah, and I think the Yankees, and this will come up when we get there, but I don't have. I'll just leave it there. The Yankees, I think, are going to make a move, but I don't want to announce that right now. So the next person that we'll talk about is, let's just talk about Freddie Freeman. Do you think Freddie Freeman stays with the Braves, or do you think he actually goes somewhere else and gets some more money? Dan, you're shaking your head. What's he doing?
He's staying in Atlanta. I genuinely think he'll re-sign with Atlanta.
Why do you think so? He wants 7 years, and the Braves are refusing to go above 6. Do you think they'll reconcile that?
Yeah, one of them will budge. It probably will be Freeman. But I think Freddie Freeman stays in Atlanta.
Dan makes a compelling argument. I'd have to agree with him.
I usually do.
Wow, that was very humble of you. So Dal, yeah, exactly. Dal, you have him saying it in Atlanta too?
Yep. I just won the series. I mean, why wouldn't you want to stick around for a little bit and enjoy it?
Well, I will give you 2 reasons. One, go out in Atlanta on a very high note. He won the MVP. Then the next year, he won the World Series. So go off on a high note. They're not going to give you 7 years. They're not going to give you the amount of money you want. So where are they going to give you that money? Again, and this is the debate I had. I don't think Freeman is going to go to the Yankees. So what I have is, I always love when players do go back to their hometowns or their home team. So I think Freeman actually goes to the Dodgers. That's my pick. He's from Orange County. They had Max Muncy not knowing how healthy he is, but also needing possibly another bat if they need a DH. He's a great defender as well. I think the Dodgers signed a big free agent as well. So I think Freddie Freeman makes sense. And why wouldn't you want him in that uniform?
Mm-hmm.
I mean he has those great pearly whites, so that would look good.
I mean, it's a big possibility. I agree, because of Max Muncy coming off injury, and Max Muncy is one of those guys who can play multiple positions. So you have the opportunity to put Muncy at like second base, platooning with, say, like Gavin Lux, because you have Trey Turner, you're moving him back over to shortstop. Like, you're not going to have him play second and then have Lux play short when their natural positions are the opposite. You still have the other Turner, Justin Turner, at third. So a guy like Freddie Freeman could definitely come in, because you have Bellinger, who's going to probably stay in the outfield, whether it's right or center. He also can give guys a break and play first. It's primarily what he did when he first came into the league. He was a first baseman. So
yeah.
I agree. It could be a big possibility that he goes back home and goes to LA. But I still think he goes back to Atlanta.
Okay. So let's move on from Freddie Freeman, and we will get to a White Sox. So on the White Sox player, I don't care. Either way, Carlos Rodon. Where's he going? He's not going back to Chicago. So where's he going? Is he going out west, or is he, joining up with the Rangers? What do you guys think? Where's Carlos Rodon signing? Dan, why don't you start us off as the no? All right, so Dallas, what do you think?
The Cubs, to stick it to the White Sox.
Okay. I mean, I like that.
That's all I got for you, man.
I mean,
that's for real reasons. I don't know, but that sounds good enough for me.
I'll say this. I've heard it from someone. I won't say it's from an insider, but I've heard it from someone. So I'll go with that. I mean, the Cubs did sign Marcus Stroman, so you would think they would need another arm in there. So maybe Rodon is that piece. I don't know. Dan, what do you think? Where's he going? I know your thoughts. All right.
Stroman's overrated. I think he could stay in Chicago, play for the Cubs. He's from Miami and from LA area. Or I'm sorry, not from LA. He's from Miami. He's from Florida. So there's always a chance he goes back home to Miami. Lord knows they need pitching.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know honestly that I have a prediction on where Rodon goes. I kind of gave up on him when I knew he wasn't coming back to the White Sox, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, granted, because I've never been a fan. He's never done well really until this last season. He's never pitched a full season prior to this because he's always been hurt constantly. The dude's like made of glass almost, and caught lightning in a bottle this year for the Sox.
All right, so if you want to play the game with us, if you had to pick a team, if he can play long, what do you think he'll sign?
I'm gonna say Miami. He'll go home.
Okay. All right. And my pick is actually the other coast. I think he'll go and sign a 1 or 2 year deal with the Angels. The Angels are signing, all their signings are pitchers. Like their entire draft this past year was pitchers. They signed Noah Syndergaard to a 1 year deal. I think the Angels are desperate for pitchers, and if they're not getting someone like Kershaw, or there's not really many big starters out there, so I think they have to go someone. Maybe they need a lefty in their rotation. I think they go with Rodon. So that's my pick.
And you're sticking to it.
But I mean, I'm definitely sticking to it. I think that's where he should, and I think that's where he will sign. It won't be a huge contract, but I think it'll, fit well. So let's go with Kyle Schwarber. He's leaving Boston this year. He turned down his offer as an option of $11 million to play this year. He is looking for more money per year. What do you think Kyle Schwarber goes? Do you think he goes back? He ends up having to go back to Boston? Or do you think he finds another sleeper location? I'll start off because actually I think I have a pretty good take on this if I do say so myself. I think Kyle Schwarber, I almost highly doubt you're going to say this but you may. I think Kyle Schwarber will sign a 2-year deal with the Rockies. And yes, the Rockies are not going to be good. They'll be in last place again this year. But I do think that he can have some good numbers on Coors Field. And the reason I say 2 years, and he'll get an average of maybe 14, 15 a year, so he'll get money. But then I think around the trade deadline, teams will start asking for him. And the Rockies will maybe sign him just so they can get prospects halfway through the year. So I think it would benefit the team and it would benefit Schwarber if he goes to the Rockies. So, Dan, was that your pick?
It was not, no.
No.
I could actually see him coming to the South Side. That was my pick. The Sox need more lefty bats. He has the flexibility to play the corner outfield. Obviously, the Sox have DH. They're in the American League. And I think it helps out because he can play a little first. He plays the corners. So if the Sox are not able to, say, acquire Nick Castellanos, I think their next best bet is a Kyle Schwarber. And even if they do get Castellanos, I don't see a reason why you don't go after a Kyle Schwarber in the sense that you still need another left-handed bat.
Mm-hmm.
You have two young guys like Gavin Sheets and Andrew Vaughn as platoon players to play because they both can play a little first. They both play the outfield.
Yeah.
But I do like the Sox making a run at Kyle Schwarber.
That was not my pick. Do you have him going to the White Sox too?
It was actually either of them. I was going to say the Rockies need outfielders. The White Sox still need help, and like Dan said, they need left-handed batters. And if they do implement the DH in the National League as well, then it's just twofold for the Rockies to pick them up. You can throw them in the outfield, put them at DH. It'll help you out in either position. So if I'd pick one from each league. I'd go Rockies or the Sox.
All right,
it'd be cool to see him in Chicago.
Again, if you're gonna help us and play the game, which one do you think he's actually gonna go to?
The Rockies. I
wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with the Red Sox again, but that's if he wants to sign us a very low deal. But I don't see that. White Sox are a good fit. Could do well. But yeah, so I'll stick with mine for now. But last two are actually maybe the two most touted players left in free agency. And the first one we'll just go with the biggest one, and that's Carlos Correa. Where's Carlos Correa going to sign? Is he going to the Yankees, Houston?
No.
Is he going somewhere else? What do you think?
I honestly think it's between the Cubs and the Yankees, and I think the Cubs pay him more than the Cubs will shell out more to bring him in than the Yankees will. So I think ultimately he signs with the Cubs. But don't be surprised if he does go with New York. But I think ultimately he'll sign with the Cubs.
Wow. I did not expect you to say that. Dallas, what do you think? Is he staying in Houston, the Yankees, or like Dan, is he going to the Cubs? Do you think somewhere else, maybe?
Maybe. You guys don't think he'll stay with Houston?
He could.
I don't. He could, but I don't think he stays.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he just signed up with that agent, didn't he? That like some of his teammates used as well.
Scout Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think he's just trying to squeeze him for a little extra money, and I think Houston will sign him.
I don't think Houston breaks on that.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm not against marquee players coming to the Cubs, but I think he'll stay in Houston.
Was that a pun? Marquee
Yeah.
players?
You like that?
That was good.
You like it?
I like that.
Good old Jason Marquis.
Or the Marquee Sports Network, but either way. No, you know what? I thought I was gonna have a surprise pick and go with the Cubs for fun, but I'm actually going to stick with the Cubs in this. Yeah, and as you said, Dan, I think he'll get more money out of them. Scott Boras is famous for getting guys more money, and I think he'll go with the Cubs because they're getting more. I don't think the Yankees want to sign the guy to 8-10 years because they have guys coming up in the minors. I think the Cubs have no one coming up at shortstop, so I think they go big. Well, as big as the Cubs can get, but I think they sign him. As a Cubs fan, that'd be nice, but we'll see. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes somewhere else, but I'm gonna go with the Cubs right now.
Yeah.
And let's actually just kind of transition to the last player on here, and that is Trevor Story. Trevor Story's coming off a very good start to his career in Colorado. He's putting up some big numbers. He, for some reason, was not traded by Colorado at the trade deadline. Everyone agrees he should have been. So, where's he going? He's not going back to Coors Field. What team do you think is picking him up? And I'll actually go first because, as I kind of just alluded to, I think the Yankees are looking for someone to come in for a year, 2 years. And I think he can, put up some good numbers in with the Yankees. So I think the Yankees sign in to a 1 or 3 year deal just to patchwork until their prospects come up. So that's where I got him. But I think he's gonna have to wait till Correa signs with the Cubs to figure out where it's going.
Again, I think he's the guy who's in between the Cubs and the Yankees, and I think Correa and Story are going to try to see who goes first. Especially, I could see him going to New York, especially if the Yankees are dead set on keeping Torres at second. Then they need a guy to bolster up the middle of the infield. And I think Trevor Story is that guy. I think ultimately he signs with the Yankees because Correa comes to Chicago.
Cool. Yeah. So we're in agreement there. Dallas, what do you think? Where do you think? Yeah, I mean that's just the rule of life. Is Dan's right?
Yes. Fact.
I want him to come to Chicago. I want him to be on the Cubs. Cubs are trying to make some moves, but they haven't. They need a shortstop that's not going to be injured and put the bat on the ball.
So why not Correa?
Why not? Dude, sign them all. I don't care. Like the Cubs, I just want to see the Cubs win.
Just sign
move them around. Sign everyone, dude. They got the money.
That's true.
Let's not pretend that they can't. Let's just make it happen. That's what their new saying should be.
Yeah. I mean, the Cubs have not had good slogans. I think last year was something like "Cup Together" or something. I was like, guys, come on! Let's come up with a better slogan.
Some Beatles fan came up with that. I don't know.
Come together, right?
That's them,
now.
right? I don't even know.
That's the Beatles. That's the Beatles. You are correct.
Yeah.
It is the Beatles.
I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the Beatles.
No.
Oh, that's really weird because the remaining one I heard he was a fan of you.
Is he? Is he a fan of the show? Does he listen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The guy from Liverpool is listening to some cousins from
Paul
Chicago.
Paul McCartney is tuned in and waiting on the edge of his seat for this show to get released.
Well, that pumps me up.
He is waiting for this to get released.
Here comes our special guest, Paul McCartney. No,
dude, how awesome would that be? We need to get a special guest on here. I don't care who it is. I don't care if
because
it's Jim from Toontown.
It's because I would say straight to Paul's face, you are not a good singer.
That is blasphemy.
No,
Wow.
it's not.
Dan compares it to blasphemy.
Listen. Yeah, I know. Listen to any cover of a Beatles song. That cover is better than the Beatles.
Jake, me and you will fight.
I'm pretty sure me farting is better than the Beatles.
You
all right.
guys
I wouldn't fight you on that.
You guys are ridiculous.
Dan's starting to get physically upset. He's going to throw up.
Dan, I wish you would fight a guy in a wheelchair. That'd be fun. Have fun explaining that to the cops.
Yeah, well, that's what I would say. That's what I would say.
He ran over my Jordans.
That was not. Yeah.
He scuffed the shoe. He'd be like, you know what?
I would love to do that. Let's try it out.
Just run over someone's
face. Cop would literally look at me and be like, you know what? I get it.
No, because they'll look down and see your rag shoes and be like, look, why? How dare you say that those busted Adidas are Jordans?
Ooh, hey, ease up off my joke.
Easy on the Adidas.
Yeah.
I do love those Adidas.
Pump the hate brakes.
Pump them.
You know what, guys? Usually we do take a trip around the bases and talk about multiple things and talk about, our weekly takes of the week. But I think today we'll just stick with hitting a single and just hit first base and stick with that. Let's go. Those are our free agent signings. But you know what? Just for fun, let's make it kind of short on this. But what is our Chicago sports take of the week? Dallas, why don't you start us off? What is your Chicago sports team take of the week?
Well, let's see. With baseball on hold, I don't have really. I mean, normally right about now, I'm looking forward to baseball starting, but since that's kind of put on the back burner, we still have hockey to hinge on, and unfortunately, the Hawks are still looking pretty rough. I don't know. Dan probably tell you a little bit more about like their moves, if they're going to be making any. Is there a trade deadline coming up?
It's coming up,
but I don't know if they're going to be making anything happen. They
might be sellers. They're probably going to be sellers at the trade deadline. They're just not a very good and consistent team right now.
Yeah, they're still their last game. They got shut out pretty ugly to Minnesota, and that's really all I've got to speak on. Just be nice to say. I don't know. It'd be nice to get home and catch a game still. So
yeah.
But yeah, I really hope that baseball just kicks off, because that's one of my favorite times of year. Is like when the weather starts changing. You get to throw the ball around.
Hockey, babe.
Yeah, man, playoff hockey. But if the Hawks stay on track, they're not going to go anywhere near the postseason. So
no,
baseball's all we'd have.
They're not a postseason team this year. But you know who is, and it's really starting to aggravate me that they're playing like garbage right now. Is the Bulls, man. The Bulls are too good of a team to continue to play the way they're playing. I was watching before we started. Before we started, they were just getting routed by Phoenix. They were down 95-75 as I flipped over in the third. I mean, I'm like, come on. Like, they're so inconsistent right now. It's aggravating.
Dude, they lost by 3. The final score is 127-124.
Yeah, so actually they came. I didn't flip the game on. I flipped the channels when we started the podcast. But
dude, they scored 41 points in the fourth quarter to Phoenix's 25. That's insane.
Who's dropping dimes though?
Wow.
Let's find out.
It's DeRozan.
Who's that?
Probably
DeRozan and Levine. Dude, they're nasty. They're so good, but they play like dog crap lately.
Yeah,
so
DeRozan got 38 points, dude. 38 points in the game. Levine got 32.
So inconsistent lately, and it's aggravating because they're too good of a team to be this inconsistent.
How old are they?
Well, DeRozan's probably close to 30, and Levine's probably in his early 20s still, or probably mid
DeRozan.
early 20s.
DeRozan's 32, and Levine is
What, 25, 26?
26. Yeah, so he's still got some time.
Yeah, they're too good to be this inconsistent.
I mean, it would be nice to see, the Bulls in the playoffs again. It's been a while.
But
Jake, my take the week is sorry about that. My take of the week is actually about the Bulls as well. I mean, there's nothing really happening as far as games going on in the city. As you talked about Dallas, the Blackhawks are not playing well. But also, I'm not a big hockey fan, so I wouldn't watch it anyway. But I would say this. The Bulls have been playing well. And they gave a lot of Bulls fans hope very early on. They were very good. But it is about that time of the year when teams either start getting hot or teams start getting cold. And sad thing is the Bulls are getting cold. So we'll see if they bounce back. I'm hoping they do. So I really like Levine. I love DeRozan. I like Lonzo Ball, but I just wish if they could stay healthy and they could just play consistent from beginning to end, they could easily be one of the top 2 teams in the East. But they gotta flip that switch. So we'll see if they do that. And this is going to conclude the episode 6 of the On a Family Basis podcast. Again, my name is Jake.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Dallas.
Why don't you guys join us next week and we will have some more topics. I know today we actually only covered one. We have plenty of other stuff to talk about besides the non-existent CBA. So, why don't you guys join us this time next week, and we will see you guys then. Bye.
That was weird.